on the edge of an ancient river, where the stones of the old world still clung to the earth, there was a city no map ever showed. Travelers claimed they had seen its spires shimmering across the water's surface, its arches bending in pools after a rainstorm, or its streets curling through mirrors when candlelight trembled too long. They called it the Forgotten City, though no one knew who had built it or why it only lived inside reflections. Those who spoke of it warned, never stare too long into still water, never linger before a mirror at night, because when you see the city clearly, when the towers sharpen, the windows glow, and the streets beckon, you may not be standing in your own world anymore. Ilara first heard the stories from her grandmother, who whispered them at dusk while polishing a bowl of water to scry the skies. As a child, Ilara laughed, dismissing it as myth, but years later, after the village festival, she stumbled across the riverbank under the silver light of the moon. The current ran strangely still, as if frozen by unseen hands. She leaned over, breath fogging the surface, and there it was, the Forgotten City. Its streets gleamed as though paved in glass, its bridges curved like ribbons of light. A shiver ran through her, but fascination outweighed fear. She dipped her hand into the reflection, expecting only ripples. Instead, the water did not stir. It pulled. The cold was sudden and sharp. Before she could scream, the world inverted. When Ilara opened her eyes, she stood upon streets that smelled of dust and rain, where voices echoed without source. The city was alive, yet hollow. Doors open, but no one walked through them. Shadows flitted, but never cast their owners. The towers leaned impossibly high, bending toward one another, as though whispering secrets across the sky. At first, she thought she was alone. But soon, she noticed others wandering. Faces pale, eyes glazed, movements slow as if weighed down by centuries. When she asked them how long they had been here, they only shook their heads, unable to recall. One man muttered he had stepped through a mirror in a merchant's hall 300 years ago, yet to him it felt like a single afternoon. Time did not pass here. It pooled and warped like water that never flowed. Ilara searched for an exit, retracing her steps to the riverside, but the water only showed the reflection of the city itself. Every mirror in every window, every puddle in the stone streets, only gave back the same endless corridors of glass and shadow. The way out had sealed behind her. The longer she remained, the louder the city whispered. Its voice was not of stone or wind, but of memories that did not belong to her. She dreamed of lives never lived, of empires that rose and fell, of children who played in streets that never existed. The Forgotten City was not empty. It was full of all it had devoured. Each reflection it caught added another soul to its echoing halls. Ilara realized too late that the city did not just exist in mirrors and water. It was a mirror itself, a mirror of everything forgotten, every moment lost to time, every person who had ever disappeared without a trace. And now, she too was a reflection, a ghost wandering its infinite corridors, waiting for the next traveler who might peer too closely into the depths. Back in her village, the river ran quietly as ever. People whispered about Ilara, who never came home from the festival night. Sometimes in still pools after rain, children swore they saw her face staring back at them, eyes wide, lips parted, as if pleading to be remembered. The Forgotten City lived on, shimmering in reflections, waiting. And those who gazed too long knew the truth. Once it calls you, you never truly leave. You become part of its echoes, forever lost among the shadows of what once was. Ilara wandered the endless streets, her footsteps making no sound upon the glass-like stones. At first, she tried to follow the echoes of voices, hoping they might lead her to others who could explain the rules of this world. But the voices were always ahead, always slipping around a corner, dissolving into laughter or sobs before she could reach them. She began to notice that the city was not static. Buildings shifted when she wasn't looking. Windows stretched taller. Bridges bent to span places they hadn't before. Once, she turned down an alley, only to find herself standing in the very same plaza she had left moments earlier. The city was alive, rearranging itself as if testing her resolve, or perhaps shaping itself to her thoughts. One evening, if such a word had meaning here, she came across a girl sitting on the edge of a dry fountain. Her eyes reflected light, like a mirror surface, gleaming silver. "You're new," the girl whispered, her voice like rippling water. Elara asked if there was a way out. The girl tilted her head, smiling faintly. "There's always a way out, but it is never the same way you came in." She lifted a hand, and in the fountain's cracked stone bowl, water began to gather. Within it shimmered a reflection, not the plaza they sat in, but a bedroom warm with lamplight. A boy sat there, staring into his mirror, unaware he was being watched. Elara reached toward it, but before her fingers touched the water, the girl snatched her hand back with impossible strength. "Not yet. The city isn't done with you." The reflection vanished, leaving only emptiness in the fountain. Elara's chest tightened with despair. She asked what the city wanted. The girl's mirrored eyes dimmed. "It wants what has been lost. Forgotten names, forgotten faces, forgotten lives. It keeps them here, in echoes and fragments. That's why you can't leave yet. You still remember too much." Elara realized then that the more she stayed, the more her memories blurred at the edges. Her grandmother's voice was faint. Her village faded. Her own name trembled on her lips as though it belonged to someone else. The city was taking her piece by piece, polishing her into another reflection. But Elara fought to hold on to herself. Each night she whispered her name aloud, recited the faces of her family, forced herself to remember the smell of earth after rain in her world. The city seemed to tighten around her in response, its streets lengthening, its shadows deepening, as if it resented her resistance. Yet sometimes, in broken shards of glass lying in the alleys, she glimpsed other worlds, flashes of firelit halls, oceans raging against cliffs, children running across meadows. She understood then, these were the exits, the cracks in the city's hold. But they were fleeting, fragile, and each one led to an unknown place. The girl with mirrored eyes reappeared often, watching her. "Most give up," she said softly. "They let the city take them, and they become its whisperers. But you," she paused, almost curious, "you are still fighting." Elara clenched her fists. "I won't be forgotten." The girl only smiled, her reflection-sharp eyes glinting. "We shall see." And somewhere in the stillness of the city, the water stirred, showing Elara not her village, not her home, but another reflection waiting for her step. Thank you for reading this story. Your time and imagination keep these forgotten worlds alive.